I think we all heard at some point those business statistics. But today I wanted to bring to you numbers. So I Googled it. According to our dearest Forbes magazine's website, 8 out of 10 business fail during their first year. Oh my God. So, if you want to know from someone who's been in business for 2 years what it takes to complete your first year in business, this episode is just for you. So, keep listening.
Would you comfort me? And if somehow you know that your love would be true, would you lie to me and call me baby?
Welcome to the eCommerce Queen Boss Podcast by So Here, where you get every week clarity with your marketing strategy and alignment to build a thriving online business. Your host, So Here, is an expert in experience marketing and consumer psychology. She worked with clients ranging from startups to multi-million-dollar online businesses. The eCommerce Queen Boss Podcast is for the woman on a mission to build her own empire. And it's starting in 3, 2, 1.
Well, hello, dear Queen Boss, and welcome to the episode number 6 of the eCommerce Queen Boss Podcast, Season 2. If you don't know yet, my name is Sohir Ghanem. I'm your host, an e-commerce entrepreneur, a keynote speaker, and I help queen bosses like you to build their own e-commerce brand through experience and consumer psychology marketing. And so with brand new episodes dropping every Monday and Wednesday, you are in the right place to learn how to build your own kick-ass e-commerce empire with ease, flow, and grace. By the end of this episode, I will walk you through 3 ways you can ensure to complete your first year in business. On a side note, if you feel stuck or overwhelmed in your e-commerce business, not really knowing what next step to take to make money, today I'm dropping the first part of my From Confused to Profitable free challenge. Woohoo! So in this challenge, this is the challenge where you and I work together on shattering the mental blocks that are holding you back from making the money you want in your e-commerce business. This is where you gain clarity on how to sell your product with ease, because yes, it is possible, sweetie. Learn the launch strategies that help me to sell out my clothing collections all the time, and learn how to drive your first marketing campaigns that converts. Honey, this is a huge opportunity to get mentored by myself for free, as I will host several live Q&As, so make sure to join us from the link in the show notes. It's bit.ly/ all attached, all in cap, From Confused to Profitable. Also, because I love hearing from you guys, and yes, I did say guys, because even though I'm addressing my content to women, I know I have some really cool dudes out there listening to my podcast by now. So shout out to you guys, shout out to you gentlemen, and thank you for supporting this podcast. I really appreciate it. So if you are listening to me from the Anchor app, come on over and drop me your questions or voice message. I always love hearing from you, and I will cover your questions on my upcoming podcast episodes very soon. So, with no further ado, the 3 ways that you can ensure to complete your first year in business. And so, the first one is time. I will take you back to 2013, where that was the moment where I really decided to go for it, right? At that time, I was working with Microsoft. My job was to be a team manager operations, and I was handling two different teams on two different markets, right? So I wanted to escape the corporate world. Although I loved my job and although I was being successful at it, I really wanted to do something for myself. And so I started to work on this project, this e-commerce to sell fashion goods. It was called the Jet Set Closet. I remember that. And I was selling fashion for women, of course. So, I started my venture, and basically knowing that I had this job that was taking a whole lot of time from my full weekly schedule. And it wasn't, a job that required just a little bit of energy. It required my entire self, honestly speaking. So, not having the time to put into it, not having the time even to work on it during the weekends, because obviously as a manager my schedule had to be totally opened and I had to be flexible for whatever would happen between the product launches thrown by Microsoft to Christmas times. I mean, you name it, at every single turn there was something to take care about, obviously. And so time is the thing that I didn't really have for it, because once I would hit home, and I know loads of maybe you listening, but I'm sure 100% that a lot of people getting into the e-commerce industry are also in the same page, right? Still working in their 9 to 5s and trying to escape from it by building an e-commerce. And so, when you hit home and you're like so tired and you can't do anything else, or you just want to have some time for your personal life, you know what I mean? And you just don't have the time to put into a business. And God knows, how much time it takes to build a business, obviously. So the first thing that I want to tell you, if you want to build a business, is make sure you have the freaking time to put into it. Obviously, if you're working from home and you're like totally dedicated to it, the 9 to 5 situation obviously doesn't apply to you. But here's the thing, the personal life situation does apply to you. And so whether you're a mom working from home, you have kids around, you have your partner, the rest of the family, make sure that your personal time doesn't come on the way of your time that you put into your business. And so, liberating some time to make sure that you have this space in your day to really put on the work in your e-commerce is what is going to save you. And that is the very first thing. Which leads me to the second, and that is I would put energy and self-care at the same time. Energy is, as I explained in the first scenario, you come home from work and you're just completely done. You have no energy whatsoever. Whatever, like even though you're a work, like you work from home and you're a mother or whatever, okay, there's always something that comes in the way of building a business. There's always something that comes in the way of your daily things, right? And so the energy that I didn't have back then in 2013 was that. I didn't have that energy because I didn't have the time, and so on and so forth. And so building a business, and especially marketing is a 24/7 thing. So knowing that it's a 24/7 thing, it means that you have to always be out there one way or another and, passing on the message about what you're doing. And so obviously it takes a lot of energy. As much as it takes time. And so to balance this, self-care is really important. This is where it comes in to really counterbalance the energy that it takes to build a business. Like, obviously, thanks God for automation, because it really allows us to work to work smarter and to schedule content in advance for release. But if honestly, if you haven't jumped into the wagon of scheduling your content, you're missing on a lot, and this is a true lifesaver. Anyways, all that to say, take care of yourself, honey, because this is what is going to, time and energy drains you after a while. Obviously, we're all human beings, we're not slaves, and the point number one to try to escape from the 9 to 5 the way that I saw it was to not being a slave anymore, right? Because that truly is how I felt about it. And yes, I know it's a strong way of saying things, but I don't believe in and that really is a personal thing. I don't believe in working for somebody else. And that is just my way of seeing, and I understand that. I know that a lot of people out there are perfectly comfortable to getting a steady paycheck and working for someone else. Good on you, right? You feel this way. It's just not the way I think. Anyways, all that to say, self-care is what is going to save your life. So believe me, working in 9 to 5s and handling businesses at the same time aside of it is what has led me to a burnout. So believe me when I say self-care will save your life. So I don't want you to burn out. If you're in this situation, sweetie, I really feel you because I've been there. I understand. And this is especially why you should definitely join in my From Confused to Profitable free challenge, because these are the stuff that we're going to talk about, and you're going to have a direct access to me. So I'm going to tell you how I did it to get out of this nasty burnout. And so back to my list, and here the next thing to ensure that you finish your first year in business successfully and still continue to be in business after that is do your market researches, but regularly. I know that you would hear, at the beginning of building a business, do your business plan, do your marketing plans, and then usually you do that or not. I know a lot of people jump in business without this. I don't understand though, because the old ass business plans, they are so outdated that right now it is a challenge, right? But having a very one-page simple business plan is really important, because it truly gives you the opportunity to sit down with your idea and test it out against so many other scenarios that will come and destroy your idea. And so it is going to help you to know if your idea is fail-proof or not, or if it at least can stand the first year in business. And so what you hear, as I said, is do your market researches. But what I see happening is that a lot of e-commerce entrepreneurs either don't ever do their market researches, or they just do them at the beginning and then that's it. Here's the thing, your first year in business, hell, even this first 2 to 5 years in business, and especially the first one, is where you get to come out with ideas and test out and see the market reactions. And so having your first year as a test drive year, especially the first 6 months, where you test out the ideas and see what is the reaction around that, and take in all the feedback that you can to improve whatever you're doing, your services around your e-commerce, your website, because God knows it's so important to have a great website. It's 2018. Like, if you don't have a good website that loads fast and that really is easy to use from a mobile, you're dead. You're not going to pass your first year. I'm sorry, honey, but this is something that you should know about. So take on all the feedbacks, even on, for example, the quality of your products, just that, if the people are satisfied, your customers, if they are satisfied with your shipping time, because these are so incredibly important to know. And here's a pointer: if you're selling and the people are not giving you any feedback, that is also a pointer. If you hear crickets, if you don't hear anything from them, it's also a feedback here. And so yes, that is something that I do cover in my membership. I haven't opened it yet, but it's going to be open at the end of September. And you know what to do to make sure that people are communicating with you, so you get feedback from them and you get to implement their feedback in your business. Obviously, this is to take with a grain of salt, because you want to come up with new ideas. You want to be the leader. You want to be the creator, but you also want to be able to, care about what your customers are saying to a certain degree, where they can actually provide you with constructive feedback. Constructive feedback is not just negative feedback, is everything that encourages you to go forward, and that can just be a customer telling you they loved something you did precisely with their order, and that is a constructive feedback. And so being able to take on constructive feedback when it's negative is also very important as an entrepreneur, because you will get hit on the face with so much as an entrepreneur. I can guarantee you this. And so it's all about being, I don't really like coming up with examples that are so masculine, but it's like being on a ring and you're boxing someone. And so, sometimes you get to give the hit, but a lot of time as an entrepreneur, unfortunately, is where you take the hit. And it's all about how strong you are to come up and, stand up again and keep going on with the game, right? So, all that to say, market researches need to be done regularly all throughout your first year. And trust me, you're going to get so much information from your customers or your potential customers. And that is just going to help you building an irresistible product, an irresistible brand, and truly building the right foundations to building your e-commerce empire. And so I know I said 3 stuff to help you go through your first year in business, but there are so many. And by now, if you don't know me, I give a lot of value in here. And so I want to add an extra bonus in here for you. And so I want to say, focus on what makes sales. And that this is like so important, because I believe me, I understand it. We get, especially with social medias, Instagram, oh my God, Instagram, Facebook, you name it. Like, we get so caught up in the likes and the comments and the numbers of followers, but who fucking cares? What is important is the amount that comes into your bank account every single week, every single month, period. And so if you just focus on your sales, focus on what makes sales come through to you, is what is going to help you save your business. Because obviously a business closes because it doesn't make money. And so if you're not focusing on what's important, which is the blood and everything in your business, which is money, if you're not focusing on the energy of coming, of making the money come to you and attracting the right customers, just attracting customers at this point, you just want to attract customers and take feedback from them and, take it from there. But getting the customers in the door, getting the sales, not just having likes, not just having website page visits. Hey, you guys, you wouldn't believe how many times I had a one-on-one coaching with clients. And in my first questions, I always ask them, do you know how many people are visiting your website? And like the crushing majority, like a shameful crushing majority, I'm sorry, I don't want to throw shade in here, but this is true. A crushing majority of you don't know how many people visit your website. And this is one of the key performance indicators that will tell you if you have a viable business in here, is to know how many people are just coming onto your website and how long they are staying, and these things. And truly focusing around the key performance indicators of your website, and not just about the likes and the comments and the bots and, the followers. Like, who cares about that, right? So yes, obviously, if they like your post, you have more chances that they will buy. But here's the thing, honey, A like is not a sale. And this is why I really wanted to add this point, because it's so freaking important to, redirect your mind on what is important and is what makes money, what makes sales in your e-commerce. All right, so this is it for today's episode. And truly, I would love for you to join in my From Confused to Profitable challenge. It will be a pleasure to work on all this stuff. As I said, shattering the mindset, the mental blocks that are holding you back from making the money in your e-commerce business. We are talking about mindset. I will be covering NLP stuff because if you don't know, I recently completed my NLP practitioner certification, so we can talk about mindset. And basically, NLP helps you reprogram your mind for success. It helps you shatter your limiting beliefs, anything that truly is keeping you from going from where you are now to your next level. And we're not just talking about mental stuff here. In the challenge, every single day, I will give you action steps that you can do in your business to start earning money. And we will talk about marketing strategy and marketing campaign and how to prepare your next launch and your next marketing campaign. So even if you're just starting, or if you're planning to have an e-commerce, or if you're already in business, but in the three situations you're not seeing as many sales as you wish in your e-commerce business, this is a free challenge just for you. Believe me, it's amazing. I took really my time to put all that together. And what I did is that for the past month, seriously, I went on Facebook groups, and I asked so many questions to you guys. And I took all that into consideration because I really wanted to put together a challenge that would totally change your life. And I really mean it. I want this challenge to change your life for the better. And so I took on all the feedback and put together an amazing training. And I really wish for you to join this. The link is in the show notes. If you're still listening until right now, thank you so much for your support. It means the world to me when you are listening to this podcast, and I really want from you to please, if you like the content that I share, if this has helped you truly, just even if I presented one thing in here that has helped you to see clearly what is your next step in your business, please do me a favor and share this podcast. Just share it. It means the world to me. And if you really want to make me happy, head over to iTunes and leave a review for me. Believe me, it's going to make my freaking day. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. It means the world to me. And again, my name is Soher, and it has been an absolute pleasure to serve you today. And remember, keep building your empire, because thriving queen bosses never quit on themselves. Until the next time, have a blessed day, honey.
And if someone knew that your love would be untrue, you lied to me and told me, baby. Some things you need to know. If you wanna live with all I have to give, I need to feel true love, or it's got to end. I don't want you trying to get with me and I end up unhappy. I don't need to learn, no, I don't need to be.